WBC lightweight champion of the world from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. The champion, Shakur Screaming Stevenson, Ring Magazine and Lineal Junior welterweight champion of the world. Number 1 from Brooklyn, New York, and representing proudly his Honduran heritage. He is the takeover Teofimo Lopez. I want you to protect yourself at all times. Keep this fight clean at all times. Do what I say. You must obey. Good one. Touch them up. January 31st, New York City. Madison Square Garden sits under a familiar glow. The kind that only appears on nights when something historic feels possible. Music. The crowd isn't just loud, it's electric, restless with anticipation. Ring 6 delivers what many thought might never happen. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson live on one of boxing's most sacred stages. This isn't just a fight, it's a collision of generations, styles, and egos that rarely meet without fireworks. Speed and surgical precision against raw athleticism and explosive power. Two fighters at the absolute peak of their confidence, both convinced the other is walking into a nightmare. Titles are on the line, the WBO and Ring Super lightweight belts. Legacies hang in the balance. By the end of the night, one reputation will leave forever changed. Music. Inside the arena, the energy builds as cameras cut backstage. Teofimo Lopez looks every bit the defending champion. Relaxed, loose, smiling like fire. The pressure is fuel. No visible tension, no frantic energy. This is his house, his moment. He carries himself like a man expecting to walk out unchanged. Across the hall, Shakur Stevenson is the opposite. Quiet, laser-focused, almost serene. He makes weight effortlessly, barely acknowledging the chaos. No wasted motion, no extra emotion. The undefeated southpaw knows this isn't about hype, it's about timing, discipline, and flawless execution. Lopez steps out first. Madison Square Garden erupts. Cheers hit like a wave, giving him the early psychological edge. Stevenson follows, calm and expressionless, absorbing the boos and cheers without a flicker. He enters the ring like he's already tuned out the world. Music, the Ring Magazine, and WBO super lightweight titles gleam under the lights. The referee delivers final instructions, both nod. The bell is seconds away. Tension hangs thick enough to touch. The bell rings, neither rushes. From the opening seconds, it's cerebral, not chaotic. Music. Stevenson establishes range immediately, snapping a crisp jab, gliding laterally, forcing Lopez to reset his feet constantly. His speed is efficient, not flashy. Clean touches then vanish. Lopez doesn't chase wildly. He stalks patiently, hands high, eyes locked, reading patterns instead of forcing highlights. Music. Every advance is measured. When Stevenson darts in, Lopez feints subtly, testing reactions without overcommitting. Shakur's early shots land, light controlled, scoring points more than inflicting damage. Late in the round, Lopez digs to the body, forcing a brief exchange. The crowd roars at the shift. As the bell sounds, the message is clear. This will be fought on a razor's edge. Intelligence versus force. But that was just the opening salvo. Music round 2. Stevenson sharpens. His jab varies. Upstairs, downstairs, then quick counters. Whenever Lopez presses aggressively, Shakur's footwork stays elite. Always a half step ahead. Lopez absorbs without panic, walking forward believing the fight favors him longer. Midway, he lands a heavy right to the body. Noticeable thud, crowd reaction. Stevenson doesn't flinch. He pivots, resets, refuses to linger. The round stays tight, competitive. Stevenson's accuracy shines, but Lopez's pressure builds quietly. The rhythm begins shifting. Music, round 3. Lopez adjusts, cutting off the ring laterally, shrinking space. Stevenson's movement remains sharp, but he works harder for distance. Teofimo finds an opening. A looping right crashes through, jolting the arena. Crowd explodes. Lopez presses, sensing momentum. Shakur answers with crisp combinations, snapping shots, pivoting out. No panic, just discipline. Exchanges sharpen. By the bell. Both are locked in. Music, round 4. Stevenson anticipates now. As Lopez advances, Shakur times entries, slipping danger and firing counters that snap Teofimo's head back. Precision undeniable. For a moment, it seems he's cracked the code, but Lopez digs deep, changing levels, brutal body shots to drain. Stevenson shows the first subtle reaction. Movement slows fractionally. Crowd feels it. Stevenson's accuracy holds, but Lopez's power leaves marks. The round carries weight. Tension spikes. Music, rounds 5 to 6. Tempo turns urgent. Exchanges increase. Stevenson spends longer in the pocket, making points, then slipping away. Costly decision. Lopez unleashes his cleanest combo. Upstairs to body. Sound pulls, roars. Stevenson fires back precise counters, threading through guard. Neither backs down. Exchanges tense, personal. Bell, silent nod of respect. Championship rounds loom. Music, round 7. Lopez ramps pressure, taking center ring. Body attacks centerpiece, slowing Stevenson's rhythm. Shakur lands clean, but volume dips. Movement skilled, but no longer effortless. Lopez dictates space. Crowd grows louder. Momentum tilts. Music. Round 8. Stevenson knows stakes. He digs deep. Slick counters disrupt Lopez's march. Brief moments of control. But Teofimo walks through shots stubbornly, answering heavier. Exchanges heat. Lopez's hooks crash through, forcing clinches. Physicality favors champion. Bell, Lopez controls. Music. Rounds 9-10. Fight tilts decisively. Stevenson opens with urgency. Quick flurries, sharp pivots, angles to remind of speed and IQ. Lopez absorbs, counters harder. Every exchange, Shakur first, Teofimo heavier. Late round 10, massive right rocks Lopez briefly, but he recovers. Crowd erupts. Stevenson weathers storm. Music. Rounds 11 to 12. Lopez presses, but Stevenson has shifted gears. Jab dominates, landing double what in past fights. Footwork elite, distance perfect. Lopez's output drops. He lands sparingly, mostly body per stats. Stevenson paints a masterpiece. Controlled aggression, threading power punches, 50% connect rate, holding Lopez to minimal output in multiple rounds. Final round, Stevenson empties tank, fearless bursts, clean combos. Lopez endures, but difference clear. Bell rings, fight over. Music, fighters center ring, sweat-soaked, scorecards collected, crowd restless, sensing dominance. Announcement, Shakur Stevenson wins by unanimous decision. 119, 109, 119, 109, 119, 109. Madison Square Garden erupts, cheers mixed with stunned respect. Stevenson raises arms, emotion breaking through calm. He claims WBO and ring super lightweight titles, becomes 4-division champ. Another challenge conquered, another statement. Music. Across ring, Lopez listens quietly. No excuses, just acceptance. He stepped up against elite defense, absorbed punishment, showed heart. But night belongs to precision over power. Post-fight, stats tell story. Stevenson lands 44% punches, far higher than Lopez's 15%. Jab controls pace. Lopez's body, work valiant but insufficient. This was high-level chess. Stevenson neutralized explosiveness with timing, footwork, discipline, proved unhittable when needed, dangerous when committing. Lopez remains dangerous. Experience, resolve, intact. But at 140, Stevenson set standard tested, proven, still evolving. As crowd filters into New York night, questions linger. Rematch, new challengers, Garcia, Haney, one certainty. Fans witnessed special, technical masterclass, toughness under lights. Shakur Stevenson didn't just win, he dominated. Let us know your thoughts in comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like to support the channel, but the night doesn't end with the final bell, because fights like this don't stop when the gloves come off. They echo, they linger, they start conversations that run far beyond Madison Square Garden and deep into the future of the sport. In the immediate aftermath, Stevenson circles the ring slowly, almost deliberately, as if committing every detail to memory. The noise, the lights, the faces pressed against the barricades. This is not the celebration of a man surprised by victory. It is the quiet confirmation of someone who expected this moment, trained for it, visualized it long before the opening bell ever rang. His corner embraces him, voices overlapping, but Stevenson's eyes stay focused, sharp, already forward-looking. Champions celebrate. Great champions assess. Lopez, meanwhile, returns to his stool and finally exhales. His face shows the cost of 12 rounds against one of the most elusive fighters of this generation. There's frustration there, yes, but also clarity. He knows exactly what happened. He chased brilliance and found discipline. He hunted openings and ran into angles. For Lopez, this wasn't a collapse. It was a lesson delivered at the highest level. As the belts are fastened around Stevenson's waist, the symbolism is heavy. 4 divisions, 4 different weight classes, 4 distinct challenges, 4 eras of physical adjustment and stylistic evolution. Fighters talk about greatness. Stevenson is quietly building it, brick by brick, without theatrics, without chaos, just mastery. The crowd begins to settle, but the analysts don't. Ringside conversations spark immediately. Was this the most complete performance of his career? One asks. Is this the ceiling or just the floor? Another wonders, because that's the unsettling part for the rest of the division. This didn't look like a fighter reaching his limit. It looked like a fighter growing into himself. The replays on the big screen tell a brutal truth. Lopez loads up. Stevenson steps half an inch back. Jab lands. Pivot. Reset. Again and again. There's a rhythm to dominance when it's technical rather than violent. It doesn't shock you in one moment. It suffocates you over time. By the 6th round, the pattern is unmistakable. By the 9th, it's irreversible. By the 12th, it's history. Stevenson's jab deserves its own chapter, not just because of volume or accuracy, but because of intent. This wasn't a jab meant only to score. It was a jab meant to dictate reality. It blinded Lopez, disrupted his timing, froze his feet. Every time Lopez tried to explode, the jab met him halfway, stripping power before it could form. This is the kind of weapon that changes careers, not just fights. And yet, what makes the performance even more impressive is what Stevenson do. He didn't overcommit. He didn't chase a knockout for headlines. He didn't abandon defense for bravado. Against a fighter known for sudden violence, patience wasn't just strategy, it was survival. And Stevenson executed it flawlessly. In the locker room later, the mood is controlled but electric. Team Stevenson reviews clips already, pointing out small details. A step here, a missed counter there. Even in victory, the work continues. That's the difference. Titles are milestones. Improvement is the mission. Lopez's locker room tells a different story. Quiet, reflective, but not broken. His team talks adjustments, not regrets. They acknowledge the brilliance they faced. He was just better tonight, someone says. In boxing, that admission carries weight. There are losses that haunt fighters. There are losses that educate them. This one, for Lopez, feels like the latter. And the division is officially on notice. At 140 pounds, the landscape has shifted. This isn't a weight class searching for a star. It's a weight class staring at a standard. Anyone who wants the throne now has to solve the Stevenson equation. How do you hit someone who doesn't stay where you expect? How do you pressure someone who welcomes pressure as information? How do you outthink someone who's already 2 steps ahead? Names start circulating immediately. Ryan Garcia, speed versus timing. Devin Haney, precision versus precision, chess against chess. Maybe even bigger fights down the line, cross-promotional dreams that fans whisper about and promoters calculate quietly. The possibilities feel endless, and that's exactly what a performance like this creates. But beyond matchups and money, something else happened tonight. A reminder that boxing at its highest level is not chaos. It is control. It is not recklessness. It is restraint. It is not about who hits harder, but who understands space, rhythm, and consequence. Stevenson didn't just neutralize Lopez's power. He dismantled the idea that power alone wins at this level. Every feint, every step, every defensive twitch carried intent. This was not reactive boxing. This was proactive dominance. As fans spill into the cold New York streets, debates erupt. Some argue it wasn't exciting enough. Others call it beautiful. That divide has always existed in boxing, between those who crave violence and those who appreciate artistry. Nights like this don't resolve that debate, they define it. Because what Stevenson delivered wasn't chaos, it was clarity. And clarity can be uncomfortable. It forces comparisons. Past grades inevitably enter the conversation. Defensive savants, technicians who frustrated entire eras. Stevenson's name now sits uncomfortably close to that lineage, not because of hype, but because of evidence. Because nights like this don't lie, the media microphones line up, Stevenson speaks calmly, respectfully, no taunts, no proclamations of invincibility, just confidence rooted in preparation. I did what I trained to do, he says. I'm not done. Those words matter, because for all the belts, all the praise, all the talk of dominance, this feels like a beginning more than a culmination. A fighter fully stepping into his prime with the skill set to age well, the discipline to adapt, and the intelligence to stay ahead of the curve. Lopez will be back. Fighters with his heart and pedigree always are. This loss doesn't erase his threat, it sharpens it, but tonight belongs to a different kind of force, one that doesn't roar, one that doesn't rush, one that dismantles you while looking almost untouched. As the lights dim inside Madison Square Garden, the echoes remain, not just of cheers, but of realization. Boxing witnessed something rare tonight. Not just a win, not just a title change, but a performance that recalibrates expectations. Shakur Stevenson didn't just claim belts. He claimed authority. He claimed the narrative. He claimed the future. One precise, disciplined round at a time. And long after the crowd is gone, long after the headlines fade, that truth will still be standing, undefeated, waiting for whoever dares to test it next. Mike Tyson's training camp was pure chaos. Floyd Mayweather's was surgical precision. And Tyson's world, it was raw power and intimidation. Cus D'Amato molded a destroyer who lived and breathed violence. Every punch thrown with the intent to end careers. Mayweather, complete opposite. His training was like a chess match, every movement calculated, every defensive technique perfected to the millisecond. Money May turned boxing into an art form of not getting hit. Tyson's camp bred a warrior who wanted to hurt people. Mayweather's camp created a tactician who wanted to embarrass them. One sought destruction, the other sought perfection. Both became legends, but their paths couldn't have been more different. That's what made boxing in their eras absolutely electric.